Actual conversation I had with a student. I work at a high school in special education resource room. I have a student who does nothing, sits on his phone, ignores my prompts or any support. Sometimes he props his feet up on the desk and when I tell him not to, he looks at me and then right back to the phone. He has been a project for me for 2 years. One day I sat next to him and tried to have a heart-to-heart. Asked him what was up. Was he self-sabotaging because he's a senior and doesn't know what he will do after high school? I shit you not. This is what he says. My mother said there's this thing called no child left behind, so I will still graduate even if I do nothing. I stood up in amazement, went to my desk and just sat there. He's not wrong. I've seen kids in our district with chronic absences and complete little to no work and we still hand them a diploma. I'm very concerned about the future. I ruined a student's birthday. There's a girl in my class who regularly shows up 20 to 30 minutes late and or skips outright. I had written 2 referrals for cutting class already this year, and had done at least double that many phone calls home about it. She has a horrible attitude when she is there and rolls her eyes whenever she's told to put whatever movie she's watching away. She's just an all-around nuisance and one of maybe 3 students I actually dislike personally. Anyway, yesterday, she came a minute or 2 late, and per school policy, I asked if she had a pass. She replied no with a tone, so I told her to go get one. She left and never came back. I wrote up a referral for a class cut, and called her mom. Today, she comes up to me after class and asks to speak to me. This is the first time she's ever voluntarily spoken to me, so I already know what she wants. She asks if I called her mom, and I said yes, to which she goes on a monologue about how she stopped to use the bathroom and then someone needed her to hold the camera to film a video, so she decided not to bother coming back and being late to her next class. She then told me that I ruined my shit. My birthday is Saturday and you ruined that too, and now I can't go to this concert Saturday. I was floored by how entitled and brazen she was, and all I mustered was I'm sorry, but that really isn't my fault, and then she stormed out in a huff. Was that an appropriate response? I feel like an additional referral, while deserved, would just be needlessly escalating it. But was a pushover with my answer? I keep going back and forth with it. Am I crazy? Day in the life of teaching intercity sped. One of my students got suspended for using staff restroom and then threatening the principal. His best friend comes in, first thing in the morning tells my educational assistant that he's gonna kick my ass for getting his friend suspended. I go straight to admin and report this. Didn't even bother talking to the kid about that. Screw that. I probably ruined the relationship with him, but he threatened to beat me up because he thinks I gave a consequence. What would happen in the future? Some other staff members made it seem like I was overreacting. Tell me if I'm being too much with how I handled it or reassure me I'm not crazy. He is a runner. Got a new student just before Christmas who is nonverbal 17-year-old autistic young man. He had been homeschooled since 3rd grade and just now had re-entered public school. Last week I arrived about an hour late due to doctor appointment and upon entering the classroom, my assistant was informing me that he seemed upset. About that time the door slammed and he was gone. We immediately went to find him only to see him exiting the building. I, 54 female, followed him while calling parent and admin. He ran towards a fast food restaurant and as I am following, he keeps going and I am still following. As he ran one way, I thought I could catch up by going around another building. At that time he crossed a 4-lane city highway and put his hand up to stop traffic. I am in a panic but proud he at least knew to put his hand up. I finally made it across the street and continued to follow and realized he was heading home. Again, I was proud he knew his way. I am always looking for the positive. Almost a mile away from the school, parent finally met up with student. He offered to take me back to the school but I wanted to walk to de-stress. When I got back to the school, I was feeling pretty good about myself for keeping up with him until my assistant said, "You know he had sliders on and does not move very fast." That popped my bubble. I still feel good because I was the only one that even attempted to keep up with the student. In the end, student was safe. He showed me skills I did not know he had. Dad gathered him up, and I got my exercise for the day. He came to school the next day and said, "No run, you old." Dad mad. He could have left out the old part. I love my job.